times. On the wall are photos of pets saved by donors like him.
If anything had ever happened to him or to receive what I would have wanted someone to do the same thing for us.
Even the smallest members of our family could save a life. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Way to go, Augie. Yeah, it makes sense. We just don't really think about it. We might need some sedation and a lot of treats, but you know what? It's a really important topic. We need to do that. All right, we are 31 weeks into the Texas special session, and later this morning, we're bringing back our KHOU political expert to walk us through what's going down on that house.
The morning weather draft is sponsored by Center Point Energy.
Buffalo soldiers really highlighted that honors the legacy of the first African American soldiers who served in the Army after the Civil War. Right now, the Buffalo Soldiers National Museum is closed for renovations, but you can still celebrate today with a virtual experience through the museum's website. The museum will be open in late spring of next year with expanded exhibits and modernized amenities.
Happening tonight is the Battle of the Jams. We call it 20 local solo artists performing 2 original songs at the Strand in Galveston. Winners chosen by the audience. Including cash prizes awarded to the top 3 performers. And what's it cost? Nothing. You just got to show up. Starts at 7 p.m. Time now is 5:57.
Yes, and coming up at 6 o'clock, only a week left to sleep in for some, but you might want to start prepping now. The tips to make sure you are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for that first day of school, of course, that's what we all want.
Now at 6 o'clock, Deerbrook Mall evacuated for a bomb threat. Now I'm a police need your help finding someone who makes a struggling to panic.
A stabbing spree inside of a Walmart and bystanders confront the suspect and help police take him into custody. The new details just a few minutes soon.
Week 2 of the Texas Special Session is set to begin in a matter of hours, and we're going to hear from an expert about the big takeaways from week 1 just ahead.
Can you believe the first day of school almost here? The best way parents can start enforcing a bedtime before that school bell starts ringing.
Oh.
Live from KHOU 11. Your news starts now.
Hey, happy Monday, Houston. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jacob Westcomb. This is Ilona Carson. Welcome.
Thank you, and good morning to you, good morning to all of our viewers out there. We really appreciate you starting our day with us.
That's right. We're so excited to have Ilona. We'll get you over more throughout the hour. And we're also, of course, streaming now from 7 to 9 o'clock, so we'll be there too. But first, we're going to start with Cheetah Craft, talking about mostly the heat.
Mostly the heat. I know high pressure is really good people, and that is going to be
Story this morning, a 12-year-old girl and 19-year-old man shot at a local apartment complex.
And sheriff's deputies say that suspected shooter is still on the run. And this happened at an apartment complex in northwest Harris County. That is where we find our own Devon Romming live for us this morning. Devon, how are those victims doing this morning?
Well, Ilona and Jacob, good morning. We have learned that the victims are doing okay. They were both rushed to area hospitals and they are expected to survive. That's the good news in all of this. But the scary news is that the suspect in this case is still on the run. Now, this is the apartment complex here. This is the Town Lake Apartments, was cleared hours ago from the scene, cleared hours ago. But the investigation and search for the suspect continues this morning. Now, investigators with HCSO tell us this all unfolded just before 8:30 last night, and when deputies arrived on scene, they found a 12-year-old girl shot in the abdomen and a 19-year-old man who was also shot. Now, as I mentioned, both victims were rushed to area hospitals, and at last check, that 19-year-old was still undergoing surgery. Meanwhile, the Harris County Sheriff's Office says they believe the shooter and the victim knew each other, and witnesses told deputies they saw the gunman take off running from the scene, which prompted the large-scale search effort using drones. But despite the drones and an expansive perimeter search, deputies later confirmed the suspect was not in the area. Now, at this hour, deputies have not released a name of the suspect or a suspect description, but they are asking anyone with information that could lead to an arrest in this case to call the Harris County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. For now, reporting live in Northwest Harris County, Devon Ramin, KHOU 11 News.
Devon, thank you. And right now, a man believed to be connected to a deadly shooting this weekend is now in custody.
Yeah, overnight officials made an arrest in Northwest Houston just hours after a man was shot to death outside of a home on Pinewood Place near the Grand Parkway. The shooting happened around 3:30 Sunday afternoon. Take a look at the video from the scene of the arrest. This was just after 10 last night. Law enforcement discovered the suspect had previously been shot in the leg as they were taking him into custody.
James Gilly is the person they believe is responsible for stabbing 11 people at a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan on Saturday. In what is believed to be a random attack, Gilly used a folding knife to stab 11 victims, ranging in age from 29 to 85, before being subdued by bystanders. He is now facing 11 charges of assault with intent to murder and 1 terrorism charge. And in some other news, there's a trade agreement between the U.S. and European Union. President Trump announced the framework of his deal during his trip to Scotland. Under the deal, the EU has agreed to buy $750 billion worth of energy from the U.S. and invest an additional $600 billion into the U.S. economy. The new deal also puts a 15% tariff on imports. All right, time now is 6:08, and in just about 3 hours, the Houston Texans will take the practice field. This is for their second open practice of training camp.
But guess what? A go-to local had to get there at like 4 a.m. She was the first one there. She's joining us live this morning outside of the training camp to tell us among other things to go to. What do you need to know if you're leaving the house for the camp this morning?
Water has to be closed and can't be open so they can stay hydrated, of course, as they're watching the players practice. So we'll have another live report here coming up in half an hour. We'll have to send it back to you on the studio. In the meantime, go Texans.
All right, go Texans. We can't wait to hear from him. We got to get that good seat so we can get that good interview.
That's amazing.
All right.
2:30 a.m.
Woohoo.
But she's right. Even if you're not actually working out, you need your water bottle with you because it's toasty out there. All right, coming up, it is 6:10 right now, and straight ahead this morning, well, new tax breaks for giving back. Why your donation could go further or fall short next year.
And saying goodbye to summer sleep-ins, expert bedtime tips to help the kids and the parents to adjust to early morning bedtime.
Also, state lawmakers back in Austin for this special session. Coming up at 6:40, our political expert joining us live here in the studio with the biggest takeaways from week 1 and what could be ahead in the days to come.
And now that my playing days are over, and I'm back to being a fan, but I'm lucky enough to be a fan with the inside view of this great game. The kid in a candy shop.
Oh, that's awesome. Wagner was a 7-time All-Star and one of the game's greatest closers, playing 16 MLB seasons. He spent his first 9 right here in Houston.
Yeah, they're always incredible. He was great. And I love that he said, I hope somebody videotaped all of this because it's just been a blur. I could take in everything from the week.
Oh, sure. I know cameras were on him.
Yeah.
Anyway, how exciting is that? Well, hopefully it wasn't just slipping out. Look at the acid healers right now across the country. I mean, that's such a serious situation. High pressure is really what's not only getting people above average temperatures, record-breaking heat for millions of people today through Wednesday. I mean, this is the really big national weather story. The amount of active heat alerts right now. Everybody in orange, that's a heat advisory. The pink is an extreme heat warning. Again, that's not only southeast, upper Midwest, covering a big part of the country. What's interesting is North Texas, you're under that heat advisory. Here locally, not so much. We're just below our heat advisory criteria. Very smooth to 610, just 21 minutes. And you don't hear me say this all the time, but the West Loop is in good shape in both directions, from 290 down to the Galleria and from the city of Bel Air up toward 290. Sugarland, 24-minute drive ahead of you. We'll be right back after this break. We'll see you.
This news segment.
Yeah, that's good news for you, Paula. It is not that bad. So if you can tolerate the heat outside, this is not going to slow you down. Your grass, your mold spores, those at low levels. Your ragweed is coming in at moderate levels. Now, we are going to really trend much drier and hotter this week. Our full forecast coming up at 6:30. Back to you guys.
All right, Chief, thanks. Hey, first day of school is just around the corner. Are your kids excited? Are you excited? Well, guess what? Next week, students in Devers ISD will be waking up with us for their first day of school.
Yeah, but for those families that may have a little more summer left, now is the time to start adjusting those bedtimes to get back to a good sleeping schedule for school. You may have heard this before, but we spoke to a neurologist and sleep medicine specialist with UT Physicians, Dr. Suratala Vajula, to find out the best way to get to that back-to-school night schedule.
It is easier to do it if you do it in 15 to 20 minute slots and move sleep up as blocks. In just a sleep time, you also have to raise up the waking time. So it's an advancement of both together.
Time to start doing it. Dr. Talavajula tells us it's important to start that adjustment early, moving bedtime up in those increments every 2 to 3 days. And, you know, getting enough good sleep is really especially important for your children. So when it comes to how much sleep do they actually need? Well, the recommendation is 9 to 10 hours for children aged 6 to 12, or 8 to 9 hours of sleep for preteens and teens. Now, we know a lot of times they're not getting that much, so it's a really good reminder.
KHOU 11 Morning News. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. and streaming on KHOU 11 Plus. Download free on your TV now. Live from KHOU 11. Your news starts now.
Now at 6:30, no teacher left behind. The state's largest school district making a final push to fill every classroom before the first bell. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. We have a lot ahead, including this special session, and our expert talking to us about that. First, we want to say hello on this Monday, Jacob Redstone, Alona Carson. You're going to meet her and learn much more about her coming up in this half hour. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, everybody out there. So happy to be with you. I feel like it's my first day of school, and I need a new backpack. We'll work on that later today. We want to head over to Cheetah to talk about this pretty hot weather out there.
We do. We have a big area of high pressure. We may not have a backpack for you, but we've got plenty of coffee. Okay, help yourself. This morning we are starting off mostly dry. Lightning all across the area here. Visibility is really not an issue. Okay, notice this live camera. This is from the Galleria facing towards NRG, and all morning we've been showing you fans.
That meeting set for 9 o'clock this morning, and we'll bring you the latest on air and online. Over in Austin, the Texas Committee on Redistricting will listen to public comment once again, this time during a virtual meeting. The announcement of the hearing says it will focus on the Harris County region. Registration to speak at the afternoon hearing has already ended, but you can still watch. The meeting is set to begin at 3 p.m. Hey, good to hear from all of them and hire that guy, that one guy from San Antonio. Always good. That good advice. Okay, go to thanks. We'll continue to check in throughout the morning. Well, right now, Houston ISD is working to fill some of its last open teaching positions before school starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've been busy. The district held this last of its hiring events this weekend as they have brought in more than 1,100 teachers just this summer. So at last check, HISD said that it has just 55 vacancies, and they're hoping to bring that number all the way down to 0 before the first day of school on August 12th. Now, starting this year, teachers will be paid based on their performance. And before your students head back to the classroom, we want to hear from you in our annual Back to School survey. So scan the QR code on your screen, or you can text the word school to 713-526-1111 to get started.
It's time. All right, 6:39. Today, state lawmakers return for the second week now of that special session, and straight ahead, our political expert breaking down how the last week could influence what's to come over the next few weeks.